Today, do you want to poke some mans? Better bring a sword and or shield. This is CheckPoint. Welcome to CheckPoint, where, as far as we are concerned, November has just started.
Yep, good old November, my favorite 2-week-long month.
14 glorious days of productivity.
I finally got 8 hours of uninterrupted sleep last night.
November!
Say No More is a new game from Studio Fizbin, where the object is to just say no. But not in that cool mid-90s Zubaz pants-wearing way where everyone in your high school applauded when you turned down weed. No, this game just wants you to relish in the power of negativity. You play an intern in a company full of jackasses where the company policy has abolished the word no. But you will have no more of this abuse, so you strap on a Walkman with the motivational Say No More tape and begin your 2-liter rampage where no one can stop you. Someone asks you for a coffee refill, you can knock them to the ground with a powerful no. Boss stole your lunch and won't give it back? Lay waste to her entire office with a megaton no! Studio Fizbin bills it as a one-button game which should be no problem for anyone to just pick up and play. So when Say No More releases in 2020, remember to just say no. Wait, that's not right.
Google Stadia has kind of launched and it's kind of okay. Send tweet. But to unroll that somewhat, Stadia, Google's video game streaming service, has launched so softly, I think we'll have to come up with a new phrasing like a delicate launch. In the future, Stadia itself won't have any cost, but to play it now, you have to buy the $10 a month Stadia Pro subscription that lets you play in 4K and Dolby, and the only way to buy that is part of the Stadia Premier bundle that's $129 and comes with a controller. Which you'll want unless you've got long cables, because the functionality to use Xbox or PlayStation controllers wirelessly isn't working yet. Also not working at launch are achievements, game sharing, connectivity with Chromecasts that didn't come with a Stadia bundle, the iOS app, and Stadia's multiplayer features. The launch lineup of 22 games is a little less dire since they added 10 games after a slew of stories on how sad the launch lineup was looking, but 3 of those 22 games are Tomb Raider. Just different Tomb Raider games. The actual game streaming works fine. So if you're cool with buying games at full retail price with no words on what happens to that if Google eventually kills the service, then give it a shot. Maybe wait until the free version is out. Oh, but Stadia does have this controller in a color scheme called Wasabi that Google's design director described as gender neutral, as opposed to those purple GameCube controllers, which were all dead butch.
Animal Crossing Pocket Camp has had another major upgrade, and with it, Nintendo has introduced a new wrinkle: 2 paid subscription plans. The first plan, Happy Helper, lets you name an animal friend to follow you around, do only the chores it feels like doing, and then also collect a smattering of special materials to help you get through the grind of special events, all set to trigger one after the other in an endless Sisyphean trudge of gardening, fishing, and picking up shit strewn across the map. The cost to you? $3 American. Every month. That's $4 Canadian, or $48 a year just to keep my head above water. Why, yes, I did sign up. The second plan, Cookies and something, I couldn't be bothered to learn the name of this plan, asks, would you be willing to spend the equivalent of a Netflix subscription to get 5 free spins of the gacha system? No? What if we give you a bunch of warehouses to keep your useless digital shit in when you inevitably run out of space from using the gacha? That question answers itself. The new plans actually obscure a bunch of other new changes. The UI got a refresh with mixed results. For example, the map got bigger, and the menu icons got harder to see. You can now search your friends list by name, but not filter by who needs help getting into the quarry. And the Gulliver ship feature now just lets you spend anything you want to send him away for treasure. Got excess steel? Of course you do. We all do. Every goddamn animal in the game gives it to you as a reward. In summation, I will be unable to stop playing this game in the near future, and I have a reminder to cancel the auto-renewal in 1 month. I am helping make the mobile games market worse for everyone. Don't at me.
Get your swords, pitchforks, torches, and shields. It's time for the Gigantamax Pokemon update. Pokemon Sword and Shield, the first full-on Pokemon game since 2016's Sun and Moon, and the first one on a home console ever, is the fastest-selling Nintendo Switch game ever, moving more than 6 million units in its first week, despite the efforts of some very angry alleged fans of the series. We haven't reported on the fervent anti-Sword and Shield campaign because it ramped up to its most feverish pitch while we were on hiatus, but if I may summarize it for you, longtime fans of the series are upset that Sword and Shield is the first time a mainline Pokemon game is not bringing forward all previous Pokemon for trade and import. In fact, only about half of the series' total mons appear in the Galar region, which is still 400 of the 890-ish Pokemon. This decision to reduce the scale of the game's national Pokédex, adorably dubbed Dexit by people for whom not having Golduck in their video game is on the same scale as the United Kingdom politically sitting on their own balls in front of the rest of Europe, has been contentious ever since it was announced. And despite my snark at it being called Dexit, I get it. Pokemon is all about your faves, your literal pet Pokemon, and not being able to bring it to the newest, shiniest game sucks, and that's a fair complaint. But some trainers got so incensed about it that they began a snowballing hate train towards developer Game Freak, nitpicking every piece of pre-release information, making mountains out of Moltres, and, as is all too common in cases like this, making bold proclamations on game development while completely not understanding how games are made. And before you comment on this video like I've seen on Twitter threads that I don't fully understand all the issues, promise I've researched this. And not even all of these complaints are completely baseless either. Like, sure, the frame rate isn't always amazing, and there's some not great draw distance, but this isn't Breath of the Wild, it's Pokemon, and saying the devs at Game Freak lied when you've invented failings of the game because your mad haunch crow isn't in it, well, it doesn't seem like you're being the very best. Besides, there's so much more to Sword and Shield that's way more fun to talk about, like climate change. Or no, rather, how Game Freak used Corsola, the coral Pokemon, to send a message about climate change. Because it's a ghost now. Also, there's a new kind of shiny that's exactly the same, but the particles that fly off of it are little diamonds instead of little sparkles, and have a drop rate of 1 in 16 shinies, just to annoy completionists, we presume. Also annoyed are people trying the game's Pokemon Go style raid battles, which you can do with real humans across the internet, but if you, like me, fear stranger danger, you can also battle the raids with NPC bot trainers, who, according to many reports, are all bringing Magikarps to 5-star raids. Thanks, idiots. Oh, and your Sinistea and Poltegeist are probably counterfeit, because, mirroring the real-world problem of counterfeit bone china, only 1 in 10 of the teacup and teapot Pokemon in Sword and Shield are legit, and you can tell by inspecting them in your bag to see if they have a blue maker's mark on the base. Also, like real life, they're otherwise completely identical, and that, like Sword and Shield's astonishing sales figures, is the tea.
While you spent the rest of November talking about Pokemon, I went outside and there are Christmas decorations up already.
Oh.
Yeah.
Happy holidays?
Oh, I'm not happy about this at all. Coming up, a new patch for The Outer Worlds adds an option to increase the text size because apparently the original release was clearly tested exclusively using 20-foot movie screens. No word on a fix for the most persistent bug where everyone keeps confusing The Outer Worlds and The Outer Wilds.
Yeah, before we went online, we were talking about homogenizing a mouse.
Yeah. Not blending it, mind you.
No,
reducing it
because
to a soup-like homogenate.
Blending it would aerate.
Yes. And you don't want to reduce air when you're trying to extract DNA and RNA. Only the Polytron can reduce an entire mouse to a soup-like homogenate in under 30 seconds.
So, that's fun.
Mm-hmm. I don't have a minute to wait.
I need this mouse reduced now.
Mm-hmm.